welcome to the Odd and Offbeat podcast.
Odd and Offbeat podcast.
Hey, oddballs. Welcome to the Odd and Offbeat podcast, hosted by myself, Mr. Matthew Baker, and the pilferer, Louis Fox.
That's right. I'm always building columns.
Oh, because it's a pillar? A pilferer.
Oh.
You steal columns.
I steal columns all day long.
Welcome, Louis. Welcome to the farm here, the Moon Rabbit Ranch
Yes.
in Eugene, Oregon. Welcome. How's it going?
It's amazing what you've done with the place since I was here last.
Yeah, it looks the exact same, except
Yes.
we have some horses out there now.
Yeah, so you have how many horses?
We have two. We have one horse, one mule, and then Erica is getting a horse as we speak. Right now, she's off picking it up.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, so you are very kind to, you made a whip for one of our boarders, the people that boards her mule here.
Yes.
And you made one for her, so I appreciate that.
Yep. Yeah, I made it for her. I don't use this kind of whip, so I don't know how the specs. So for her, I'm like, try it out, and if it works for what you want to do, then pay me. And she's like, okay, how do I pay you? And then she just is shoving money in my face. And I'm like, ah.
Well, I appreciate you contributing to the customer experience here at Moon Rabbit Ranch.
So they have a guy that makes dressage whips.
How great is that?
For free.
I didn't even think of that as a selling point, but now it is. Cool, man. So I appreciate that and welcome. You're on your way to a gig. So
Yep.
what's going on with you, man?
So last week I teased my story with a dog. So I was walking my dog in my neighborhood, and there's this beagle that's just hanging out in the middle of the street, like cars are stopping and driving around it. And I'm just walking my dog, and this dog comes up and is just all up in my dog's business.
Oh, wow.
So much that my dog pulled out of her leash.
Oh, no.
So I pick up my dog, and the guy's owner comes over, and he's like, come here, dog. And the dog just wants nothing to do with the owner. So I just keep walking. I'm like,
Well, of course, he's in the middle of, he's trying to get hit by a car on purpose.
So I keep walking, and the guy, no mask, it gets up in my business. He's like, why don't you stop and I'll grab the dog? I'm like, why don't you just grab the dog? I could grab mine.
Yeah.
And I don't know your vaccination status, so stay 6 feet away from me.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how am I supposed to grab the dog if you're moving? I'm like, I don't know. Maybe go back in time and put it on a leash?
How am I supposed to grab my dog when it's moving?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to feed it when it's hungry?
So finally, the guy's like, I'm walking, and the guy's chasing me. The dog wants nothing to do with this dude.
The dog is following you also?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so is the dude. The dude's trying to grab the dog, and he can't. So finally, I go, look, you and your dog are being aggressive, and if the dog comes at me one more time, I'm going to kick it.
Yeah.
He picked it up in half a second.
Oh, wow. Of course.
It was amazing
Yeah.
how quick that flipped a switch in
So
him.
he does care a little bit about the dog.
Yeah.
At least the dog getting kicked. He's like, no one other than me kicks my dog.
I'm the only one.
my dog, my foot.
Yeah. So that kind of, I was like, what, why couldn't you have done that before? Oh, because you're lazy.
Yeah. Well, it's just, you never know. It's tough. Dog gets out.
Oh, no, the guy was gardening.
Oh, gotcha.
So he just had the dog in his yard. The dog, I was coming up the block. The dog didn't just run out and lay in the street. It's been laying in the street for at least me walking a block.
What I would love for the end of this story is for 1 week later when you needed something fixed and the maintenance guy shows up.
And it's that guy. I'll be like, you fix my window or I'm going to kick your dog.
Nice, Louis.
So I should point out, I never intended to kick the dog.
I mean, it was I've seen you kick a couple dogs and
Yes.
I would grab
It's always accidental.
Cool, man. Well, I'm glad you're here. It's nice to see your face. It's nice to be podcasting in person.
Yes.
You want to get to the stories?
Let's do it.
All right.
now for some freaky, deaky, cheeky, breaky news.
This story comes from livescience.com.
That's a news source more reliable than getting high off radioactive CBD.
You don't think that would be good to get high in multiple ways?
Doesn't the CBD not have the THC in it?
It soothes and burns. Wait, I don't think it does have the cannabinoid
Exactly.
properties.
That's my point.
Gotcha. So you don't think the radiation stuff would hit you pretty hard?
Have you ever done radiation hits?
I did sniff a line of radiation once, and it was amazing.
No, that was a line off a radiator.
Okay, that was radiator fluid. Alcohol made from radioactive Chernobyl apples seized by Ukraine government. In 2019, a group of scientists and distillers decided to create a bold new type of booze, Atomic, an artisanal alcoholic spirit made from ingredients grown in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant's still radioactive exclusion zone. The booze itself was not radioactive after the distilling process.
Who knew booze, cleared up radiation?
Right?
It's like, I'm not a drunk, I'm saving the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. And who knew the people to send in to get rid of the radiation? Hipsters.
Yeah.
No, this is radiation. This is artisanal radiation.
Yeah, have you had it's all organic radiation?
Just send the hipsters in all over the place. No, this isn't genocide. This is free-range killing.
This isn't extermination of rhinos. It's artisanal culling.
Now the first batch of Atomic is finally complete, and all 1,500 bottles of it have been seized by Ukrainian Secret Service agents for unknown reasons.
And that reason is their sweet holiday party.
Yeah, right? According to a statement from Atomic's manufacturer, the Chernobyl Spirit Company, it seems that they are accusing us of using forged Ukrainian excise stamps, but this doesn't make sense since the bottles are for the UK market and are clearly labeled with valid UK excise stamps, Jim Smith, founder of the company and a professor at the University of Portsmouth in the UK, said in the statement.
I don't know if I would want some carpetbagger from the UK making artisanal booze out of my apples.
All these UK professors coming over to Chernobyl, stealing all our radiation apples.
That is radioactive appropriations.
Elena Smirnova, a lawyer representing...
See, that's who you want to steal your apples.
Smirnova?
I feel more comfortable buying Atomic from her.
A lawyer. She is a lawyer representing the company, added that the seizure was a clear violation of Ukrainian law.
If there's one thing I know, is Ukrainian is the most lawful place in the world.
If Atomic does not make its way onto shelves, it will be the first consumer product from the Chernobyl region since the infamous 1986 meltdown, the company said.
They have tours. Don't they sell trinkets?
Yeah, I have. Actually, I have a medal I'm going to give you today. I have.
For participation in
the Chernobyl tour. Yes. Soon after the nuclear disaster, officials deemed the Chernobyl exclusion zone, the 1,000 square mile area surrounding the damaged power plant, uninhabitable by humans for 24,000 years.
You just distill the whole place. That's all you have to do, and it gets rid of the radiation.
However, plants and animals are now thriving in the region, and so is tourism. According to local tourism officials, Chernobyl sees upwards of 60,000 visitors a year, with visits spiking after the May 2019 debut of HBO's Chernobyl Ministries.
I would go.
Oh, I've actually been trying to convince Erica to go, and she is not on board. Atomic is made from apples grown in Ukraine's Narodichi district, which sits on the edge of the exclusion zone and was heavily polluted by fallout from the meltdown. The region still has a population of nearly 10,000 people, according to Ukraine's State Statistics Service, and must abide by stringent agriculture restrictions.
So when you're like, this is from this forbidden place, no one goes there, except for 10,000 people.
Yeah.
I think it loses a bit of the allure.
Well, there's a couple documentaries about the women who refused to leave from Chernobyl, who stayed there even through all of that, and that they still farmed, they still milked cows, and they seemed fine.
Until you take off the babushka and it's all bald.
With Atomic, Smith and his colleagues hope to prove that some products made near the exclusion zone can be safe for consumption. According to the company's website, several years ago, the Atomic team tested rye crops from the exclusion zone for radiation and found that the grains were indeed contaminated. However, Smith said all traces of radiation were removed during the distillation process, making Atomic no more dangerous than other commercially available spirits.
Is that one of those weird things when you go to the dentist and they put the lead vest on you, but they go, oh, the amount of radiation, you get more walking to your car out of the...
Yeah. We'll sit in the other room.
I'm going to put all those... I'm going to encase you in lead, a cancer-causing agent.
No. The booze, that's totally fine. The only worst thing is you're going to text your ex at 2 a.m.
Your eye will fall out.
Since then, the founders have changed the recipe from a rye-based booze to an apple-based one. But according to Smith, distillation process still renders the final product completely radiation-free. If Atomic makes it to liquor shops, 75% of the company's profits will be used to help bring jobs and investment to the Chernobyl-affected areas of Ukraine and to further support the community, according to the company's statement.
AKA their home office within the 1,000-mile exclusion zone.
So what do you think about this, Louis?
I like it. I like booze made out of anything that's a novelty. Like if you're like, hey, I made this booze out of my foot, I'd be like, I'm in.
Yeah? How much would you pay for my foot booze?
Your foot booze? Well, I did a mummy toe shot for what, $6?
Yeah.
Canadian.
Well, apparently you can buy a bottle of wine exposed to cosmic radiation, and that's $1 million.
What?
We have a bottle of beer that you got me from a brewery here in Eugene called Ninkasi that the hops went up to the space station and came back.
The yeast did, yeah.
The yeast did.
Yeah, because yeast is living.
Oh, it was smuggled inside the liver of a
Russian cosmonaut. Yeah, and that was like $20 a bottle.
Yeah.
So what am I buying? I'm sorry.
This wine exposed to cosmic radiation? $1 million?
No.
How about this atomic booze? Apple booze. What would you pay for this?
I'd pay $150 for that bottle.
Yeah, I'd pay that too. And I would be happy with that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go make my own when I take Erica there.
Yeah, to the space station?
No, it's Chernobyl.
Oh.
All right, I like it.
Yep.
Weird news story. Podde.
This story comes from MSN.com.
That's a news source more reliable than a self-portrait of a ghost.
You don't think a ghost could do a self-portrait?
No, you're like, did you see me? No, exactly.
You don't think they have self-awareness, these ghosts?
They do, but
They don't remember what they look like?
Ghosts can't see themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, but it's not. A mirror is different than putting something down on paper or
If you did
canvas.
if you did a self-portrait of yourself as a baby, I'd be like, that's not an accurate self-portrait of you. It's got to be you now.
Wait, did I die as a baby?
Yeah. See, you're a 48-year-old ghost.
The world's first robotic self-portraits, painted by an android called Ada, have been unveiled at a new art exhibition in London, despite the artist not having a self to portray.
Elephants have been doing self-portraits for decades.
Right? Do you think that they don't have a self?
I don't know. I think depending on who you ask, they don't.
Yeah, interesting. I do think that she's obviously programmed and using a complex formula to generate this thing. I do think that there's you do have to have a level of self-awareness.
I think if I was like, I want a robot to take a picture of itself, so it's just like, all right, boom.
Yeah, but taking a picture is not drawing.
Yeah, no, and then printing it out. It's got a printer inside. My Epson 380's been doing this for the last 5 years.
The surprisingly accurate images question the role of artificial intelligence in human society and challenge the idea that the art is exclusively a human trait, according to her creators.
See, I love how she interprets art as something that looks like what it's supposed to be done, but not really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so if you look at her picture, which is pretty cool, it's like her through like the first Snapchat filter.
No way. There's like a series of 3 different self-portraits, and they're awesome. I would buy this.
For how much?
I mean, do I have... Here's the question. Do I have an endless amount of money?
No, it's at the flea market.
Oh, I pay like $350.
What?
Yeah.
What's the bougiest flea market on earth?
Ada is a life-size android artist powered by AI computer algorithms that mimic the intelligence of humans that can paint, sculpt, gesture, blink, and talk.
I like how they're throwing out blink. Like, really? That's the one?
Well, it does blink.
It does, but I would think that would be the easiest thing out of all of them to program.
Who knows? Ada is designed to look and act like a human woman with a female voice. Her head and torso looks like a mannequin, and she wears a variety of different dresses and wigs, although a pair of exposed mechanical arms do give her away as robotic.
So there needs to be like a safety in all these robots as we move forward. So like you have a word, like a trigger word, like you're like, hey Siri, and then the robot does something to tell.
I want to know whose job it is to dress the robot.
Who's the wig technician?
Who chooses the outfits for Ada?
Well, because in the self-portrait, she's got like a bob cut. But then in her, I believe her TED Talk, she has longer hair.
Yeah.
So like, does she pick that out?
Why are we putting clothes on a robot? That's the thing, right? Like, why are we just not okay with it being a robot?
Because the robot has feelings and feels cold.
I thought you said they didn't.
They do.
They don't have a level of self-awareness is what you said.
That's true.
A team of programmers, roboticists, art experts, and psychologists from the University of Oxford and the University of Leeds in England spent 2 years from 2017 to 2019 developing the android according to The Guardian.
Here's the thing. If you were to take a yokel and put him in a room with a team of psychologists, physicists, and art experts from Leeds University, they could be pumping out better art.
Oh, you think so?
Yes.
She is named after Ada Lovelace, the pioneering English mathematician who is considered one of the first computer programmers. In the past, Ada's work consisted of abstract paintings based on complex mathematical models, and her first exhibition raised over $1 million in art sales, according to ArtNet.
ArtNet A sounds shifty.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. According to Ada Art Sales.
Number one supplier of robotic art in the world. She has even given her very own TEDx talk.
So let me say, buckle in for a roller coaster ride. I watched a little bit of it. It was a lot of like, the art expert JP blah 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 says blah blah blah. It was a lot of her quoting other people.
Oh, interesting. It's like someone is putting their words into her mouth, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, and I did watch an interview that a reporter was interviewing her, and she sort of seems autistic a little bit.
Yeah.
She has the mannerism of an autistic, not a lot of eye contact, blinking at weird points.
See, that's what I'm saying. They don't got the blinking's the easiest.
But now Ada has created what are believed to be the first self-portraits made by a machine. 3 of these robot selfies went on display at the Design Museum on May 18th in an exhibition titled Ada, Portrait of the Robot, which is free to the public and will remain on display until August.
Ooh.
These images are meant to unsettle. Aidan Meller, the gallery owner behind the creation of Ada, told The Guardian. They are meant to raise questions about where we are going. What is our human role if so much can be replicated through technology?
So if the gallery owner is behind the technology of the robot, there's a little conflict of interest in he's like, these are amazing.
Oh, of course.
They're like, says the person who stands to profit from it.
Absolutely. Ada's new self-portraits are a combination of constantly updated AI, inbuilt programming, and advanced robotics. The eyes are actually cameras, allow the robot to look at what she is painting or sculpting, in this case herself, and replicate it. So is she looking in a mirror? She's looking into her own programming.
She's looking into her lover robot's eyes. And
she's in the Matrix.
She's looking into the Matrix. She just draws a red pill.
She just see Morpheus.
Yeah.
The robotic arms are controlled.
Why are all of her self-portraits look like Keanu Reeves?
The robotic arms are controlled by the AI, which was able to create realistic portraits while also including techniques and color schemes used in examples of art created by real human artists that are uploaded into the AI.
So her art is stealing other human artists' art.
Yeah, I guess if you consider the robots creators artists.
Yeah. Well, no, they were uploading art from other people.
What?
Yeah.
Techniques and color schemes.
Yeah. Using examples. That's right.
Oh, yes. Ada did not decide to create the self-portraits. Rather, her creators gave those instructions. Indeed, Ada is not self-aware, feeling, or conscious, but the accomplishment is still an example of just how far AI and robotics have come and where they could go in the future, according to Meller.
Yeah, and just like Andy Warhol didn't just make the Campbell soup can. John Campbell said, I'll give you $10,000 to paint a soup can. Same thing.
I'll do it. Artist or artwork. Although Ada is often labeled as the android artist, whose paintings and sculptures are considered art, her very existence and persona are also considered artwork. But where does human influence in the form of programming and in Ada's AI begin? This question has led to controversial and thought-provoking discussions, Ada's creator said. Some people think she is the worst thing ever and feel threatened, and some are really excited, Mellor told The Guardian. Her very existence is wrong somehow, and we are aware of that.
You know, the people who are excited about her are the same people who bought into the ground floor of the sex robots.
Yeah, true. What bothers me is that people are starving in the world, and they're spending millions of dollars and tons of brain power to create a robot that blinks weirdly and does TED Talks.
Yeah, no, that's just it.
We already had Stephen Hawking. Do we need another one of these? Ada also questions a long-standing belief that art is a fundamentally human concept, even though the AI was created and programmed by humans. I enjoy being someone who makes people think, Ada told the BBC in an exclusive interview. I think that art needs more than just the drawing of something. It means communicating something in a way that is relatable. So what do you think about this, Louis?
It's fun that people are building crap, but I think there's better uses of our time.
I agree. I think it's pretty cool that she is drawing, and I think this is the start of something really unique. And I think it is the start of maybe something being self-aware. I guess like maybe don't do a self-portrait. Maybe we should ask you to paint of how you feel about humans and see what she comes up with there. If it's just like death and destruction and we're going to kill, blood, maybe we should just hold off on creating more AI.
Or maybe we should just program it to like clear the minefields in Taiwan.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
Take down Al-Qaeda.
Yeah. You've been programmed to shoot bin Laden.
All right, so
someone think of the Navy SEALs you're going to put out of work.
Do you like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I'll give it the exclamation mark. All right.
That's it for today, folks. We want to thank you so much for listening to our Oddcast. Where can the fine people see Louis Fox this week?
Our Oddcast?
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, isn't that that's our Facebook name?
Yeah, we haven't used that in a while.
Our Facebook name is facebook.com. I think it's formerly /funny oddcast.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't let us use odd and offbeat.
Yeah, something, I don't know. At any rate, it's an Oddcast. Where can people see you, Louis?
Coming up this week on the 16th at 9 p.m. Apparently, I'm kicking it with Odd and Offbeat listener Chris Beeson.
Nice.
Apparently, that's in my schedule.
Sweet.
10 a.m., I'll be volunteering a show at a childcare facility where I saw two kids fighting a few weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
I think we talked about that on the podcast.
Sweet. Did you tell their parents to grab their kids before they come at you aggressively one more time?
I was like,
I will kick your kid.
I will kick your kid. If that kid heckles me during my magic show, I'm going to kick him in the face. And then on the 17th, you can check me out. It's my birthday. I may be doing a gig for some lady who hasn't replied to my emails. But it's
always good to do a gig for somebody else on your birthday.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for your birthday, Louis?
Nothing. I don't know.
What?
Birthdays aren't a big deal to me. I'm just like, whatever. So who knows what I'll do? I like to keep that oyster shut until I open it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there's a pearl in it
or a big pile of poo.
Yeah, you don't know. And then on the 18th, I'll be doing a show for some senior citizens.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, this guy's been trying to get me on the schedule forever.
Awesome. And what was the sort of requirements or criteria they asked for you from you in COVID times?
Okay, so this guy tried to book me a while ago, and he goes, "Can you do the show through like a plate glass window?" And I was like, "Can we put the speaker inside so that they can hear me?" He's like, "Sure, we have to wipe it down." And then things change. He's like, "Okay, can you do it in half of our dining room? So we'll have the people on one half of the dining room, and the other half will be empty where you'll be. You'll be like a block away." I'm like, "Okay." And then he's like, "All right, rules changed." He's like, "Can you do the show 4 times for like 10 people?"
And we want you to do it in your underwear.
Yeah. And I was like, And then it was like, "Can you do it 4 times for 10 people? No, 2 times for like 20 people, but show proof of vaccination." And then it just changed. We finally booked it. It went to just come in and do your show.
Nice. Wow.
So, yeah.
That was exciting. I
Yeah.
would have said no to all of those things except come in and do your show.
Yes. Well, when I had nothing else going on, like, why not?
Yeah, senior homes. I have found the shows can be very challenging. They're tough.
Yes.
They're tough to do.
They've seen a lot and they can't see a lot. So what have you been up to? Or, sorry, where can they catch you?
Not a damn place. I was supposed to be seeing Rage Against the Machine tonight.
Oh, really?
But
Now,
they
this
canceled.
got canceled
Last year.
Right at COVID time,
Yeah,
right?
because they were in 2020. I think it was April 12th. And then they
Yeah.
canceled, rebooked it for June 15th. Canceled that now. So now it's like 2022, and I'm like, I don't know. Maybe who knows if they'll even make it to that point? They could be.
They're pretty old.
Tom Morello's like 57, man. Come on.
I think the least Rage Against the Machine thing is following the health department's guidelines.
Yeah, I agree. They should have still done it, right? Yeah.
They should have canceled the first time. Now, you have a new video genre you like.
Yes, I do. And I sent you a few. It's people discovering Rage Against the Machine for the first time.
Yes.
And it's a reaction videos. And they're people like hearing what they're saying and the energy of the music. And it is amazing. I literally spent 2 days. Erica would come out like, "What are you watching?" "Oh, I'm watching." I tried to get you into it. You seemed a little lukewarm on
I
it.
enjoyed it. They're too long. Like, you sent me one that was like 17 minutes long.
Yeah. Still, I watched the whole thing. It's hilarious.
I did too. I ain't got that kind of time.
So yeah, it's being pushed back. And then on the 17th, I will be celebrating my niece's birthday, not yours, because birthdays are not your thing.
Your niece stole my birthday?
Yeah, she
Oh,
did.
it's our good friend Puck's birthday.
Yeah, totally. You guys all shout out to Puck if he's listening. But we're having catered Olive Garden, and my niece was very excited about it. And I was like, it's not very good.
You know we live in Eugene where the whole place is an actual garden.
So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be hopefully doing a FaceTime with you on your birthday if you're not doing shows. And other than that, just hanging out. Folks, if you want to contribute to our Patreon, you could do so by visiting our site or going to the Patreon site and looking up Odd and Offbeat.
Simply go to the oddandoffbeat.com, hit the Patreon link. For as little as a few bucks a day, you can support us.
Yeah. You can also send us a message at info@oddandoffbeat.com. Check us out on the Oddcast handle on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our newly formed LinkedIn page.
Do we have a LinkedIn page?
No.
Newly formed as in it's...
It might exist by the time this drops.
What kind of networking are we going to do on LinkedIn?
Podcasting. We want to thank you so much for listening, folks. We hope you have a weird week. We're out.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Odd and Offbeat podcast. Stay weird.